Welcome back to my channel Pocket Change Coins. If you love discovering hidden treasures, you're in the right place. First, we're revealing some coins that could be worth way more than you think. Stick around to find out. New here? Like, subscribe, and let's dive in. We're going to take a closer look at a truly iconic piece of American history, the 1945 U.S. Liberty Wheat penny 1-cent coin. This little coin might seem unassuming at first glance, but it has an incredible backstory and could be worth far more than you think. Now, most of us are familiar with the famous Lincoln Wheat penny. The coin was first minted in 1909 to commemorate Abraham Lincoln's centennial birth anniversary, and it remained in circulation for decades. The wheat penny, with its distinct design featuring two stalks of wheat on the reverse side, is beloved by collectors and coin enthusiasts all over the world. But not all wheat pennies are created equal, and the 1945 version is one of the most fascinating to talk about. So, what makes the 1945 Liberty Wheat penny so special? Let's begin with the historical context. The year 1945 was a pivotal time for the United States and the world. World War II was coming to an end, and the U.S. was entering a period of great transformation. The American economy was shifting, and so was the design of its currency. During this time, coins were in high demand due to the increased spending caused by the war effort. Yet, while the government was busy minting millions of pennies to meet this demand, some very interesting things happened that would make a select few 1945 wheat pennies stand out. You see, there were certain variations in the way these coins were minted that have since become incredibly rare and highly sought after by collectors. Many of the 1945 wheat pennies were made with a unique mix of metals during the war, which led to small inconsistencies in their composition. Some of these errors, or unique characteristics, have turned certain 1945 pennies into real treasures that can be worth far more than their face value. But before we get into the specific details about what makes the 1945 Liberty Wheat penny so valuable, let's take a moment to appreciate the design. The obverse side, featuring Abraham Lincoln, was designed by the famous sculptor Victor David Brenner. This design has become one of the most recognizable coin images in U.S. history, with Lincoln's dignified profile and the inscription, "In God We Trust," boldly displayed. On the reverse side, we find the iconic wheat stalks that gave the coin its name. The reverse design was created by artist Henry Lincoln, and the wheat stalks symbolize the agricultural roots of America, something that was deeply connected to the nation's identity at the time. The wheat penny, with its elegant simplicity, captured the spirit of an era, and its design continues to resonate with collectors today. But what really makes the 1945 wheat penny stand out is its rarity and the errors associated with it. While the U.S. Mint produced millions of these coins, only a small number of them were made with a particular error that would make them highly valuable. Some 1945 wheat pennies were struck with a misaligned die, creating a distorted design that is incredibly sought after. Other variations include unique copper and zinc mixtures that give the coin a distinctive appearance and weight. One of the most famous and valuable versions of the 1945 wheat penny is the rare, double die variety. This error occurs when a coin is struck twice during the minting process, causing the image to appear doubled. The 1945 double die Lincoln Wheat penny is one of the most prized coins among collectors, with its distinct appearance and rarity making it incredibly valuable. But even if your 1945 wheat penny doesn't feature a die error or a rare metal composition, it's still a coin that could be worth much more than its face value. Coins that are in excellent condition, with minimal wear and tear, are often worth significantly more than those that have been heavily circulated. A coin in uncirculated or almost mint condition can be much more valuable because collectors are always looking for coins that are as close to their original state as possible. So, let's talk about the value of these rare 1945 Liberty Wheat pennies. The price range for these coins can vary greatly depending on factors like the coin's condition, rarity, and any unique characteristics or errors it may have. Some 1945 wheat pennies can be worth a few dollars, especially if they are in well-worn condition, while others, with unique features like the double die or other minting errors, can reach much higher prices. But here's the most exciting part: if you happen to have one of the rarest 1945 Liberty Wheat pennies in excellent condition, perhaps one with a double die or an unusual minting error, it could be worth an incredible amount of money. The most highly sought-after examples of these coins have been known to fetch up to $145,000, yes, you heard that right, $145,000 for a single coin. Imagine finding a coin that small, with such a rich history, and holding the potential to change your life financially. It just goes to show that sometimes, it's the seemingly insignificant items that hold the most value. So, if you're an avid coin collector or just someone who happens to have a few old pennies lying around, it's worth taking a closer look at your 1945 wheat pennies. Even if you don't think you have a rare one, the value of well-preserved, historical coins has only increased over time, and you might just have a hidden gem on your hands. Second rare coin, we're going to explore a fascinating piece of American numismatic history, the 1949 U.S. Liberty Wheat Penny 1-cent coin. While pennies are often seen as just small change, some of these seemingly simple coins have an intriguing story to tell and, believe it or not, a significant value. You might have one of these hidden gems lying around, and if you do, you could be sitting on a fortune without even knowing it. Stick with us as we dive deep into the history, design, and value of the 1949 Liberty Wheat Penny. Let's set the stage. The U.S. Liberty Wheat Penny, which was first minted in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, quickly became one of the most iconic coins in American history. Designed by sculptor Victor David Brenner, the coin features a portrait of President Lincoln on the obverse, a symbol of the nation's enduring respect for its 16th president. On the reverse side, two stalks of wheat encircle the words, 1 cent, representing the agricultural roots of America. Now, by 1949, the wheat penny was already an established part of American currency. However, the 1949 version of this coin holds particular significance in the world of collectors. To understand why, we need to take a closer look at the historical and economic context of the time. The year 1949 was a turning point in the United States. World War II had ended just a few years earlier, and the nation was transitioning from wartime to peacetime economy. The U.S. was focused on rebuilding and moving forward, and as a result, coin production continued to reflect the nation's economic strength. Yet, even though many of these pennies were minted and circulated in large numbers, not all 1949 wheat pennies are created equal. Some of these coins are now incredibly rare and highly prized by collectors. So, what makes the 1949 wheat penny so special? Well, it's a combination of factors, starting with its rarity and the condition of the coin. While the U.S. Mint produced millions of 1949 pennies, very few of them were kept in pristine condition. The most valuable 1949 wheat pennies are those that have remained in near-perfect, uncirculated state. Most pennies from this era were widely used in everyday transactions, so finding one that has been well preserved is a real treasure for collectors. But beyond just the condition, there's another key reason why the 1949 wheat penny is so desirable. Some of these coins were struck with slight variations in their design or metal composition, which makes them stand out among the mass-produced coins of the time. These unique characteristics can include subtle design flaws, unusual strikes, or even errors in the minting process that make certain 1949 wheat pennies incredibly rare. One of the most valuable variations of the 1949 wheat penny is the so-called 1949 S, minted in San Francisco. The 1949 S penny is one of the rarest and most sought-after wheat pennies among collectors, as the San Francisco Mint produced a limited number of these coins. The S mint mark on the reverse side of the coin signifies that it was minted in San Francisco, and it's widely considered to be one of the most valuable of the 1949 wheat pennies. But even without errors or specific mint mark variations, a 1949 wheat penny in great condition can still be worth significantly more than its face value. Many collectors are on the lookout for coins that have been kept in top-notch condition, free from scratches, tarnish, or other forms of wear and tear. Coins that have been stored carefully, whether in a coin album or a safe deposit box, are often worth much more than those that have been used in daily transactions. Now, let's talk about the value of these rare 1949 wheat pennies. While most 1949 pennies may only fetch a few dollars, especially if they are in worn or circulated condition, the truly rare and well-preserved examples can be worth far more. A 1949 wheat penny in mint or uncirculated condition, especially one that features an error or was minted in a specific location like San Francisco, can reach impressive prices. But here's the exciting part: if you have one of these rare 1949 Liberty Wheat pennies in near-perfect condition, it could be worth a fortune. The most valuable and sought-after 1949 wheat pennies can be worth as much as $115,000. Yes, you read that correctly, $115,000 for a single coin. Imagine finding a coin like that tucked away in your collection, or even better, coming across one in a jar of loose change you've had for years. That's the magic of coin collecting. What might seem like an ordinary penny could end up being a small treasure trove of value, and the 1949 Liberty Wheat penny is one of those coins that proves the point. So, if you happen to have any 1949 wheat pennies in your collection, or you find one while digging through old change, it's definitely worth taking a closer look. Even a coin in good condition could be worth more than you expect. If you're lucky enough to have a rare one, you could be holding on to a real fortune. Third expensive coin, we're diving into the world of a classic American coin that holds a special place in the hearts of collectors, the 1950 U.S. Liberty Wheat penny 1-cent coin. You may have seen these pennies in your coin jar or even received one as change, but did you know that some of these seemingly common coins are worth far more than their face value? Stick around as we explore what makes the 1950 wheat penny one of the most coveted coins among collectors, and just how much it could be worth if you're lucky enough to have one in your possession. First, let's set the stage. The U.S. Liberty Wheat penny, with its iconic design featuring Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and 2 stalks of wheat on the reverse, has been a staple of American currency for decades. Introduced in 1909 to celebrate Lincoln's centennial birth anniversary, the wheat penny has been a symbol of the nation's history, craftsmanship, and values. For over 40 years, this coin was a regular part of American wallets, used for everything from small purchases to everyday transactions. By 1950, the wheat penny had become a familiar part of U.S. coinage, but that year was a bit different. The 1950 series was the last year the iconic wheat reverse would be used before it was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial design in 1959. That's right, the 1950 wheat penny marks the end of an era for this beloved design. But the 1950 version of the coin, minted in Denver, holds an especially intriguing secret that makes it particularly interesting to coin enthusiasts. You might be wondering, what's so special about the 1950 wheat penny? After all, millions of these coins were produced, so surely they couldn't be worth much, right? Well, this is where things get interesting. While many of these pennies were minted and circulated, there's a very rare variety of the 1950 that has become highly desirable among collectors. This particular variety is known as the 1950 double die, and it's one of the most famous and sought-after error coins in the entire wheat penny series. Now, you might be asking, what exactly is a double die? Simply put, a double die is a minting error that occurs when the coin die used to strike the coin is improperly aligned or double-struck during production. As a result, the design appears doubled, with the features of the coin, especially the numbers, letters, and other inscriptions, appearing to be slightly offset or blurred. In the case of the 1950 wheat penny, this error is particularly noticeable in the Liberty inscription and the date, 1950, on the obverse side of the coin. These double details make the coin much more valuable to collectors, as it's a unique piece that deviates from the standard design. However, the 1950 double die is incredibly rare. Not all 1950 pennies exhibit this error, and it's one of the key factors that has made this particular coin so desirable. Coins with this error are considered varieties, and for collectors, varieties can be worth much more than a standard coin. Even the most common varieties of coins can fetch a higher price, and this is one of the reasons why the 1950 has gained such a reputation in the numismatic world. But even if your 1950 wheat penny doesn't feature the double die error, it's still a coin worth considering. Coins from this year, especially those in excellent or uncirculated condition, can still be valuable. Many 1950 pennies were used in daily transactions, and as a result, they've seen a lot of wear and tear. If you happen to find one that's in great condition, it could still be worth more than its face value. Now, let's talk about the value of this coin. As with any rare coin, the value of a 1950 wheat penny depends on several factors, including its condition, rarity, and whether it has any errors or unique characteristics. Most 1950 pennies in average or circulated condition are worth just a few dollars, but the rare double-die variety is where the big money lies. The most valuable of these error coins can be worth a significant amount, and if you have one of these rare pieces in your collection, it could fetch an impressive price at auction. Here's the best part: if you're lucky enough to have one of these rare, high-grade 1950 double-die wheat pennies in your possession, it could be worth as much as $105,000. Yes, you heard that right, $105,000 for a single coin. It's hard to believe that a small, humble penny could hold such immense value, but that's the magic of coin collecting. So, if you have any 1950 wheat pennies lying around, it's definitely worth taking a second look. Even if you don't think you have a rare variety, it's always good to check for any unusual features or signs of where that might make your coin special. And if you find that you have a 1950 with the double die error, you could be sitting on a small fortune. Coin collecting is full of surprises, and the 1950 Liberty Wheat Penny is just one example of how something so simple can turn out to be worth a significant amount. Whether you're a seasoned collector or someone who just enjoys the thrill of discovering hidden treasures, always remember that the value of a coin isn't always determined by its age or appearance. Sometimes, it's the story behind the coin and the unique characteristics that make it so valuable. Now, we're diving into a truly fascinating piece of American coinage, the 1954 U.S. Liberty Wheat Penny 1-cent coin. You might have come across one of these coins before, or maybe you've got a jar full of pennies from your childhood. But what if I told you that this seemingly ordinary penny could be worth much more than its face value? In this video, we'll take a closer look at the 1954 wheat penny, its design, history, and, most importantly, why it could potentially be worth a small fortune. The U.S. Liberty Wheat Penny, introduced in 1909, is an iconic coin that many collectors around the world cherish. Its design, featuring Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and two stalks of wheat on the reverse, has made it one of the most recognizable coins in American history. The wheat penny was minted for over 50 years, and by the time the 1954 version rolled around, the coin was well established as part of American currency. Now, let's fast forward to the year 1954. The world was experiencing significant change in the post-World War II era. The United States was transitioning into a time of economic growth and stability, and the country's currency continued to reflect that period of prosperity. The 1954 wheat penny, minted at the Denver Mint, became a part of this transformative time in American history. However, the real story behind the 1954 wheat penny lies in its rarity, condition, and what makes it stand out among millions of other pennies. You see, while the U.S. Mint produced billions of pennies during this time, not all of them are equally valuable. Many of the 1954 wheat pennies were heavily circulated and have lost their original luster due to years of handling and wear. But that's exactly what makes well-preserved examples of this coin so special. A coin that has remained in excellent condition, free from significant wear, could be worth much more than its face value. But here's where it gets even more interesting. What truly sets some of the 1954 wheat pennies apart from others is their minting quality and potential errors. While most 1954 coins are pretty standard, a very small number have features that make them stand out. These could include slight design variations, inconsistencies in the metal composition, or even minor errors in the minting process. These kinds of unique characteristics make certain 1954 wheat pennies incredibly rare and highly sought after by collectors. One of the most notable features that collectors look for in the 1954 wheat penny is its overall condition. Coins that have been stored carefully, away from the elements, can maintain a much higher grade than those that have been tossed around in pockets and jars. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin. A coin in mint state, or close to it, will always attract the attention of serious collectors, and these well-preserved pieces are worth far more than those that have been worn down over time. Now, you might be wondering, what makes a 1954 wheat penny worth so much? Well, the value really comes down to a few key factors. rarity, condition, and demand. Coins that are rare and in excellent condition are always more valuable to collectors. And because there are so few of these high-quality 1954D coins left in circulation, they can fetch substantial prices at auction. But here's the most exciting part: some 1954D wheat pennies have sold for impressively high amounts of money, up to a staggering $87,000, yes, you heard that right, $87,000 for a single coin. Imagine finding one of these hidden gems in your collection, or even better, stumbling across one at a local coin shop or in your spare change. It's truly remarkable how a small piece of American history like the 1954D wheat penny could hold such immense value. So, if you have a 1954D wheat penny, take the time to inspect it closely. Look for signs that it might be in excellent condition, or even find a unique feature that could make it stand out from the rest. Coins that have been well preserved are a rare breed, and they tend to become increasingly valuable as time goes on. If you happen to have a rare, high-quality 1954D wheat penny in your possession, congratulations. You might just have a small fortune in your hands. But even if you don't have one of the rarest coins, don't underestimate the value of your collection. Sometimes, it's the coins we overlook the most that turn out to be worth the most. It's all about taking the time to examine and understand the history and value of these little pieces of American heritage. Whether you're a seasoned coin collector or simply someone who enjoys the thrill of discovering hidden treasures, the 1954D wheat penny is one coin that deserves your attention. It may have started as just another piece of everyday currency, but now it represents a piece of history with the potential to change your financial future. Next coin, we're diving into a fascinating coin that might just be sitting in your collection, waiting to be discovered for its true worth. That's right, we're talking about the 1953 U.S. Liberty wheat penny 1-cent coin. While many of us have come across these pennies throughout our lives, there's more to this coin than meets the eye. Today, we'll explore the history, significance, and potential value of the 1953 wheat penny and why it could be worth far more than its face value. Stick around to the end, where we'll reveal just how much a well-preserved 1953 wheat penny could actually fetch. Let's first rewind to 1909 when the U.S. Mint first introduced the Liberty wheat penny. Designed by Victor David Brenner, this coin has become one of the most iconic pieces of American currency. On the obverse side, we see the image of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, a symbol of freedom, unity, and resilience. The reverse side, featuring 2 stalks of wheat, has long been associated with the country's agricultural roots and hard-working values. By the time we reach 1953, the Liberty wheat penny was firmly established in American currency. At this point, the country had already weathered the Great Depression, and World War II was a memory. The 1950s were a time of economic growth and prosperity, and the coin's design remained a reflection of the nation's enduring values. However, despite the widespread circulation of these pennies, there's something particularly special about the 1953 edition that makes it a coin worth paying attention to. Now, you might be thinking, what makes the 1953 wheat penny stand out? After all, millions of these pennies were produced that year, so how could one coin be more valuable than another? Well, the truth is that while the 1953 wheat penny was mass-produced, its value comes from a combination of rarity, condition, and a few key factors that make it particularly sought after by collectors. First, let's talk about the rarity of the 1953 wheat penny. While millions of these pennies were minted, only a fraction of them remain in pristine, uncirculated condition. Over the years, many of these coins have been used in everyday transactions, leading to wear and tear that diminishes their value. However, those that have been carefully stored and preserved in great condition are far more valuable, as collectors always seek coins that have maintained their original look. But the rarity of this coin doesn't just come from its condition, it also stems from a specific characteristic found in some 1953 wheat pennies, the Denver Mint variety. The 1953D wheat penny, which was minted in Denver, has become particularly sought after by numismatists. Though it may seem like a subtle detail, the D mint mark on the reverse side of the coin indicates where it was minted, and in the world of coin collecting, these tiny details can make all the difference. In fact, certain 1953 wheat pennies are in especially high demand due to their scarcity in uncirculated grades. Many coins from this year were quickly used up in daily transactions, so finding a 1953 wheat penny that's still in near-perfect condition can be quite the rarity. When a coin of this quality pops up in the market, it tends to fetch higher prices, especially among serious collectors looking to complete their sets. Aside from the mint mark and condition, there are also unique varieties and potential minting errors that can make the 1953 wheat penny even more valuable. Errors and unique characteristics are prized by collectors because they are rare, one-of-a-kind pieces. These errors could include things like double strikes, off-center prints, or other minting mistakes that make the coin different from the typical version. If you happen to find a 1953 wheat penny with one of these errors, congratulations. You could be holding onto a coin that's worth far more than you'd expect. Now, let's talk about the all-important question: how much is a 1953 wheat penny worth? Most 1953 wheat pennies, especially those that have been heavily circulated, will likely only be worth a few cents. But if you happen to have a well-preserved 1953 coin or one with an error, its value could increase significantly. Coins that are in mint or uncirculated condition can command much higher prices at auctions and among collectors. For those rare and high-quality 1953 wheat pennies, particularly the 1953 variety, the value can soar. In fact, some of these coins have sold for as much as $77,000. That's right, $77,000 for a single coin. It's truly amazing how a small piece of history like the 1953 wheat penny can carry such a hefty price tag. If you're lucky enough to have a 1953 wheat penny in your collection, it's definitely worth taking the time to examine it carefully. Look for signs of wear, mint marks, and other unique characteristics that could make it more valuable. Even if you don't find a rare error coin, a well-maintained 1953 wheat penny could still be worth a lot more than you think. So, next time you come across a 1953 wheat penny in your change, take a moment to inspect it. You might just have a hidden treasure in your hands. Coin collecting is full of surprises, and sometimes the coins we overlook the most turn out to be the most valuable. Last unique coin, we're going to explore a classic piece of American coinage that might just be hiding in your collection, the 1957 U.S. Liberty wheat penny 1-cent coin. You've probably seen these pennies before, maybe even 100 times, but what if I told you that some of them could be worth far more than you think? That's right, what appears to be a simple penny could actually hold significant value. Stick with me until the end, where we'll reveal just how much a 1957 wheat penny might be worth today, and you won't want to miss that surprise. Let's first take a step back and understand the historical context behind the Liberty wheat penny. The coin was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by the talented Victor David Brenner, the coin features Lincoln on the obverse side and 2 stalks of wheat on the reverse, symbolizing the country's agricultural roots. This design was used for nearly 50 years, until it was replaced in 1959 by the Lincoln Memorial design. By 1957, the Liberty wheat penny had already seen decades of use in daily transactions, and yet, the coin was still a prominent feature in American life. This particular penny was struck at a pivotal time in U.S. history, right at the peak of the post-World War II boom. The American economy was thriving, and the country was entering a period of immense prosperity. However, despite its widespread circulation, certain 1957 wheat pennies have become highly valuable due to their rarity, minting quality, and unique characteristics. So, what makes the 1957 wheat penny so interesting in the world of numismatics? Well, the key factor lies in both its rarity and the condition of the coin. While millions of these pennies were minted, only a small percentage of them were preserved in exceptional condition. As with most coins, those that were in heavy circulation became worn, damaged, or otherwise less pristine over time. But some 1957 wheat pennies have managed to survive in near-perfect, uncirculated condition. These coins are extremely valuable to collectors, as they represent a pristine example of the coin's original design, free from the usual wear and tear that most other coins from that year experienced. To fully understand why a well-preserved 1957 wheat penny is so valuable, let's dive into the specifics of what makes a coin uncirculated. An uncirculated coin is one that has never been used in everyday transactions. These coins retain all of their original detail, with sharp features and minimal signs of wear. Uncirculated coins are often the first choice for collectors because they are the best representation of the coin's design and quality. Coins that are in excellent condition can fetch a premium price, as they are much rarer than those that were used extensively in circulation. Now, let's talk about a specific variation of the 1957 wheat penny, the 1957 D. This coin was minted in Denver, and just like other coins that were minted at a specific U.S. mint, it features a D mint mark on the reverse side. The mint mark indicates where the coin was produced, and in the case of the 1957 D, it's a key factor in its value. While the 1957 D wheat penny was produced in large quantities, coins from the Denver Mint are often in high demand among collectors, especially if they're in mint or uncirculated condition. These coins are more difficult to find, making them even more attractive to those looking to complete their collections. In addition to the 1957 D variation, it's important to remember that certain coins from this era were also subject to minting errors. These error coins are incredibly valuable to collectors, as they are rare, one-of-a-kind pieces. Some of the most sought-after errors from the 1957 wheat penny series include double strikes, off-center impressions, or even coins with misspelled words or design inconsistencies. A 1957 wheat penny with one of these errors could be worth much more than a regular, uncirculated coin. So, let's get to the big question: how much can a 1957 wheat penny be worth? The value of a 1957 wheat penny really depends on its condition, rarity, and whether it has any special characteristics, like a minting error or being part of a specific mint series. Most of these coins, especially those in circulated or average condition, are only worth a few cents to a couple of dollars. However, if you happen to have a 1957 wheat penny in excellent condition or one of the rare error varieties, the value can increase dramatically. And here's the exciting part: the most valuable 1957 wheat pennies can be worth as much as $57,000. That's right, $50,000 for a single coin. The key to unlocking this potential value lies in the condition of the coin and any unique features it may have. For collectors, the hunt for rare, high-quality coins is what makes the hobby so exciting, and finding a coin like this can be an incredible payoff. If you happen to find a 1957 wheat penny in your change or come across one while browsing your coin collection, it's definitely worth taking a closer look. Examine the coin carefully for any signs of wear, errors, or unique characteristics that could set it apart from other pennies. Even if you don't have an error coin, a well-preserved 1957 wheat penny can still be a valuable addition to your collection, and you may be able to sell it to a collector for a significant profit. Coin collecting is a rewarding and fascinating hobby, and it's always exciting to discover a coin with a rich history and potential value. The 1957 wheat penny is a perfect example of how a seemingly ordinary coin can hold a world of value if you know what to look for. Thank you for tuning in to today's video on the 1957 U.S. Liberty wheat penny. If you enjoyed this content and want to learn more about rare and valuable coins, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss any of our future coin explorations. Who knows? Your next treasure might be right under your nose, waiting to be discovered. Happy hunting, and I'll see you in the next video.